Back to the Chelsweets kitchen. Today I'm showing you guys how to make these pumpkin pie cupcakes. To make the pumpkin pie filling, add 1 cup of heavy cream and a package of instant vanilla pudding into a bowl. Whisk until smooth and then add 1 cup of pumpkin puree. Also add in pumpkin spice and cinnamon and mix until smooth. If desired, you can also add some orange gel food coloring to give this a more vibrant shade. Using a small knife, remove the centers of your pumpkin cupcakes. Once all the centers are removed, spoon about 2 tablespoons of the pumpkin pie filling into each cupcake. Smooth the tops of each cupcake using an offset spatula. Then it's time to pipe the crust onto each of these pumpkin pie cupcakes. I used a small round tip and also a Wilton 103 tip. You can pipe a variety of different styles onto each of these cupcakes. I chose to do a few different types of lattices and made a few different types of crusts as well. This is a classic pie topping made with my Wilton 103 tip. I used the same tip to pipe the crust around this pie cupcake. I chose to make a slightly different lattice design on my next cupcake using both frosting tips. I began by making my wider stripes and I then filled in with my smaller frosting tip. You can really get creative with this and use whatever frosting tips or whatever ideas you have in mind. You also can simply pipe a crust around each pie, since pumpkin pies normally don't actually have a ton of pie crust on top of them. However, I chose to add every possible pie crust idea I had in mind to these cupcakes. This design was one of my most straightforward, and I used my smaller frosting tip to simply pipe lines across the entire cupcake. I used the same tip to pipe some squiggles around the side to create a slightly different crust for this cupcake. The next design I tried was also a very classic look that I used my Wilton 103 tip for as well. I piped lines across the entire cupcake, leaving very little exposed pumpkin pie filling, and I tried to alternate my lines as best I could to make it look like a real lattice pie top. Once I had all of my lines crisscrossed and in place, I added on a crust. The last looks that I did was just a very classic pumpkin pie with a little bit of frosting whipped cream in the center. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons below. And don't forget, the recipe for these pumpkin pie cupcakes is up on Chelsweets.com.